You are listening to the Screen Director's Playhouse presentation of The Spiral Staircase, starring Dorothy McGuire in her original role of Helen, the mute girl, and John Daner as Dr. Perry.
Dr. Perry has been gone almost an hour, and now a second bitter quarrel in the house. Stephen in Blanche's room next to mine, raising their voices.
Stephen,
Blanche crying, Stephen taunting her, laughing
find
at her.
her in my room, especially the professor.
Crying, my dear Blanche, makes no impression on me whatever. I like to see women cry. It makes me feel so superior.
I'm not going on with you anymore, Stephen. We can't hide our feelings from the professor any longer.
And just why should we hide our feelings from my stepbrother? Oh, I forget you did have a certain interest in him.
You are a pig.
Now, Blanche.
Get out. I'm leaving tonight. The better to wash my hands of you.
As you wish, Blanche. But you'll regret this. I honestly think you're going to regret this most seriously.
Blanche has left her room and gone down to get her suitcases out of the cellar. I'd be afraid to go down there alone. It's very dark in the cellar. There's a spiral staircase that goes round and round into the dust and the damp and the darkness, round and round into darkness.
Oh, I'm sorry if I disturbed you, Helen. Do you know where Blanche is?
Blanche? Isn't she up from the cellar yet?
Helen, I'm speaking to you. Will you please find Blanche? I want her to take some dictation in my study. At once.
The spiral staircase, going round and round, down into darkness, into the dark, the damp, the shadows. Blanche, where's Blanche? It's been almost an hour. Dead. Murdered. Who could have... Stephen.
Dead?
Nod, yes, nod, yes, dead,
right.
yes.
All right. You'll let me handle this, Helen. Do you understand what I mean?
I could dash for the door.
Helen, answer me. Do you understand what I say?
Dash for the door. Open it. Slam it. Bolt it outside.
Helen! Helen! Helen!
Helen, what happened? You're terrified.
Pencil. Lost pencil.
You trying to... Pencil? You're right.
Right. Yes, right.
Blanche?
Yes. M-U-R-D-E-R.
Helen, in heaven's name, are you... Do you know who did it?
S-T-E-P-H-E.
Stephen?
Yes.
Of course.
Why does he say of course?
Helen, where is Stephen now?
Locked in cellar.
Oh. Helen.
Why does he look at me like that?
Helen. Look there, in the mirror.
Mirror?
Go on, look at yourself, Helen.
Why does he do this?
You see, Helen? You have no mouth.
No mouth. I know what he means, but why should he say it so cruelly?
No mouth, Helen. And in all this world, there's no room for imperfection.
He's so strange.
We're alone, Helen. Mrs. Oates is very drunk because I purposely let her steal a bottle of brandy when we went downstairs before. My stepmother is helpless in her bed. And you have just locked Stephen in the cellar. Blanche is dead.
He is the killer.
Blanche, whom I loved and who betrayed me with Stephen, is dead. or I killed her.
He's mad.
What a pity Father didn't live to see me become strong, to see me dispose of the weak and the imperfect in this world.
Escape.
I put on these leather
Escape.
gloves.
Where?
Father would admire me for what I'm about to do.
I know. The gun. The gun in Mrs. Warren's room. Escape. I'm not so imperfect as he thinks. I run like the wind, climb the stairs to Mrs. Warren's room like a cat, slam the door and bolt it in his face. Gun, pad and pencil, right, gun. Wake up, Mrs. Warren. Wake up, wake up. Oh, please wake up. Her eyes are opening. Now, read. Gun, the gun. Where is the gun?
Gun? What gun?
Helen!
She knows where the gun is. She must know. Oh, it's no use. It's no use. She's drugged or poisoned. Someone's at the door downstairs. Someone's outside. The professor will have to answer. And then I can steal downstairs again, down the spiral staircase. Free Stephen. Get Stephen to help me. Yes! Round and down, down and round, into the darkness, into the shadows. Softly, softly, softly. A foot. I saw a shoe draw back into the shadows under the last spiral. The professor, waiting. Turn. Softly. Go back. Softly. Step. 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 And run!
Helen! I want to help you!
Stop!
Thank God, Mrs. Warren at the top of the steps.
Stop where you are!
Mrs. Warren.
Both of you!
She has the gun. Why does she point it at both of us?
Mother?
No, only your stepmother, whom your father always taught never to waste a single shot. You murderer. It was you who killed all those girls. I thought it was Stephen. You always waited until Stephen came home to cast suspicion on him. Never waste a shot, your father taught me. Never a shot. Helen, girl, better get me Dr. Perry.
Number, please. Number, please.
Hush, daughter. Hush.
Number, please.
You see, Helen, you have no mouth.
You must leave this house, Helen.
Let me see thy countenance. Let me hear thy voice.
Number, please.
You have no mouth. Let me hear thy voice.
Number, please.
Thy voice. No mouth. Thy voice. No mouth. Thy voice. No mouth. Thy voice. No mouth.
Number, please. Number, please.
8, 9.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Dr. Perry,
This is Dr. Perry. Who is this?
it's me,
Who?
Helen.
Helen! Oh, Helen, darling, what's happened? What? Wait, I'm coming right over.
Darling. He said darling. My beloved spoke and said unto me, Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away with me. Arise, and let me hear thy voice.
Dorothy McGuire will return in just a moment. Next week, as always, another great star repeats a brilliant performance on Screen Directors Playhouse. Our story is All My Sons, and recreating his original role will be Edward G. Robinson with screen director Irving Reese. Now, here again is tonight's star, Dorothy McGuire.
Thank you so much. The part of the mute girl in the picture Spiral Staircase was a pretty frightening assignment until I found out my director was to be Robert Siodmak. Robert is a kind of super-talented elf who directs his pictures with a magnificent mixture of skill and gaiety. As a result, he says he has only one regret about Spiral Staircase. The studio wouldn't let him slide down the banister. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Robert Siodmak.
Thank you, Dorothy. But after listening to Spiral Staircase tonight, I must make a confession.
About what, Robert?
Well, I thought it would be impossible to do a radio drama in which the central character was a girl without a voice. But it was done beautifully.
Well, thank you. My part was a little larger than the 3 or 4 lines I had in the picture.
Mm-hmm. This picture business. You know, before Spiral Staircase, the producer said to me, "Robert, what do you think of Dorothy McGuire?" "She's wonderful," I told him. "She has the most magnificent voice." And he said, "That's fine. We put her in a picture with nothing to say." Well, you know how producer behaves sometimes.
And, Robert, I loved every minute of it.
Well, next time they ask me about Dorothy McGuire, I won't mention your voice. I say she's so beautiful and a great dramatic actress. Well, then they probably tell me to direct you in The Invisible Woman.
Just so you don't play the part of an invisible director, Robert. And seeing you behind those cameras again is something I'm looking forward to.
Well, I know I'm a beauty. Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you, Robert. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
And good night to you, Dorothy McGuire and Robert Siodmak. Remember next week, Edward G. Robinson and Irving Reese with Jeff Chandler. Spiral Staircase was presented through the courtesy of RKO Radio Pictures, producers of that hilarious comedy Bride for Sale, starring Claudette Colbert, Robert Young, and George Brent. Dorothy McGuire will soon be seen as the star of the 20th Century Fox production, Oh Doctor. Robert Siodmak's latest production for Universal International Pictures is Deported, starring Marta Torin and Jeff Chandler. Included in tonight's cast were John Daner, Stephen Dunn, Georgia Backus, David Ellis, Jane Webb, Betty Moran, Jane Morgan, and Dan Riss. Spiral Staircase, based on a novel by Ethelina White, was adapted for radio by Milton Geiger, and original music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. Screen Directors Playhouse is produced by Howard Wiley with dramatic direction by Bill Karn. This is Jimmy Wallington speaking and inviting you to listen again next week when we present
Screen Directors Playhouse, star Edward G. Robinson, production All My Sons, director Irving Reese.
What's on NBC Sunday? Sunday on Hollywood Calling. You may be called by motion picture stars June Haver and Richard Widmark to win a wonderful prize and crack the Film of Fortune jackpot. Make a note to stick close to your radio and your telephone Sunday for Hollywood Calling. It might be your lucky day. So listen to Hollywood Calling Sunday on NBC.
Stay tuned for Bill Stern and the Sports Newsreel on NBC.